Every 36 seconds, someone dies from heart disease or diabetes in the United States. That's over 2,400 people every single day gone. And most of them, seniors who never saw it coming. According to the CDC and the American Diabetes Association, more than 30 million older adults in the U.S. are silently living with conditions that slowly destroy their hearts, nerves, and blood vessels, and they don't even know it. Now, imagine this. You wake up one morning and your legs feel heavy, your hands are a little numb, your heart is still beating, but there's no strength behind it, just fatigue. You tell yourself, it's just age. But deep down, you wonder, will I feel like this forever? Let me be brutally honest. Growing old doesn't mean getting weak. Aging is natural. Pain, exhaustion, and fear are not. And the truth is, you can take back control starting with what's on your plate. Because food can either drain the life out of you or rebuild it. In today's video, I'll show you 9 everyday foods, real simple ingredients that have been scientifically shown to heal the heart, reverse insulin resistance, and boost energy better than anything you've tried in years. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips. Let's take back our health one bite at a time. Now let's take a look at the very first food, and I'm almost certain you already have it in your kitchen right now. Garlic. Believe it or not, a simple clove of garlic may lower your blood pressure faster than medication, and science is finally catching up to what many cultures have known for centuries. Let's start with what garlic is most famous for: blood pressure. A 2015 meta-analysis published in the Journal of Clinical Hypertension looked at 20 randomized controlled trials and concluded that aged garlic extract can reduce systolic blood pressure by up to 11 mmHg and diastolic by 5 mmHg, comparable to low-dose prescription meds like atenolol. That's not a small number. For older adults with borderline or stage 1 hypertension, this kind of drop can cut stroke risk by 30% and heart attack risk by 20%, according to the American Heart Association. I'll never forget a patient of mine, Daniel L., 74, retired high school coach from Oregon. His pressure had been hovering around 150/95 for months. We tried all the basics: less salt, more walking. But the real shift came when he started taking 600 milligrams of aged garlic extract daily. After 4 weeks, his reading fell to 132/84. No side effects, no fatigue, just calm, steady improvement. Why does this happen? Because garlic, especially raw or aged, produces allicin, a sulfur compound that increases nitric oxide, relaxing the blood vessels and improving elasticity. It also inhibits angiotensin-converting enzyme, ACE, the same enzyme targeted by many hypertension drugs. Now let's talk about something just as dangerous: silent blood sugar damage. A study published in Phytomedicine 2005 showed that diabetic patients who took garlic supplements experienced up to a 21% reduction in fasting blood glucose over 12 weeks. More recently, the Pakistan Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences 2018 confirmed that garlic improved HbA1c, insulin sensitivity, and even post-meal glucose spikes. That might sound like just numbers, but let me give you a face. Barbara, 66, from Kentucky, sweet lady, pre-diabetic, always tired after lunch. Her A1C was creeping towards 7.0. We didn't add any pills, just garlic. Every evening, sauteed garlic and olive oil over steamed greens or added to lentil soup. Within 3 months, her A1C dropped to 6.2. And she said something I'll never forget: "Doc, I feel like I've aged in reverse." Chronic inflammation is the hidden root of almost every age-related disease, from arthritis to Alzheimer's. Garlic helps lower C-reactive protein, CRP, a marker of systemic inflammation. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, garlic extract can reduce CRP levels by up to 29% in adults over 60. What does that mean for you? Less joint swelling, clearer thinking, lower risk of memory loss, In fact, a 2020 study in the Nutrients Journal found that elderly adults who consumed garlic regularly performed better on memory and attention tests than those who didn't. So if you've been feeling foggy, forgetful, or just not as sharp lately, garlic might not just protect your heart, it might help protect your mind too. Here's the good news. You don't need to eat a whole bulb. Most studies use 600 to 1,200 milligrams of aged garlic extract daily or 1-2 raw cloves per day, crushed and left to sit for 10 minutes before cooking to activate the allicin. You can also find it in capsules, powders, or garlic oil, but fresh is always best if tolerated. Heads up, if you're on blood thinners or meds for blood pressure, talk to your doctor first. Garlic can enhance their effects. Let's move on to food number 2, kale. If I could walk into every senior center in America and hand out just one vegetable, it would be kale. No fancy packaging, no prescription needed, just raw green power straight from the earth. Kale is loaded with soluble fiber, the kind that binds to LDL cholesterol and drags it out of your system before it clogs your arteries. A 12-week human trial published in the Biomedical and Environmental Sciences Journal, China, 2008, gave 150 ml of kale juice daily to men with high cholesterol. The result? LDL, bad cholesterol, dropped by 10%. HDL, good cholesterol, rose by 27%. Antioxidant activity in blood increased by 36%. That's the kind of change statin drugs aim for, but with zero side effects. I had a patient, Jerry B., 68, from Flagstaff, Arizona. He refused statins due to muscle pain. We switched gears, kale sauteed with garlic, twice a week. 3 months later, his lipid panel came back with his LDL down by 34 points. His response? Why didn't anyone tell me this 10 years ago? Here's what most folks don't realize. Chronic inflammation is the underlying fire behind heart attacks, Alzheimer's, arthritis, even some cancers. Kale contains 2 inflammation-fighting warriors, flavonoids like quercetin and kaempferol, and sulforaphane, a compound also found in broccoli. Together, they reduce cytokines and reactive oxygen species that damage blood vessels and brain tissue. In 2016, researchers at Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health studied over 73,000 women aged 50 and up. They found that those who consumed leafy greens 5 or more times a week had 23% lower risk of coronary heart disease, 16% lower levels of systemic inflammation markers, CRP Illinois 6. That's not just a number. That's fewer ER visits, fewer heart stents, more years with your grandkids. Cognitive decline is something I talk about with nearly every senior patient. What you eat today affects how you think 5 years from now. Kale is rich in lutein, a carotenoid that concentrates in the brain and eyes. A 2018 study published in Neurology, conducted by Rush University Medical Center, followed 960 adults, average age 81, for 4.7 years. Those who ate 1 to 2 servings of leafy greens per day, including kale, had slower rates of cognitive decline, performing 11 years younger on memory and processing tests. One of my patients, Marlene, 73, from South Carolina, started losing track of her car keys and words. We added kale to her morning smoothie every other day. After 6 months, her son called me and said, "Doc, she's back. She's cracking jokes again." People always ask me about calcium, but few realize how crucial vitamin K1 is for bone strength, and kale is one of the richest sources. A 2020 meta-analysis published in the Journal of Gerontology, Medical Sciences found that adults over 65 with the highest dietary vitamin K intake had 35% lower risk of hip fractures, significantly higher bone mineral density in the spine and hips. Kale also contains manganese and magnesium, 2 minerals critical for collagen formation and bone repair. If you've been noticing more stiffness, slower healing after a fall, or have family history of osteoporosis, kale is your friend. Despite its bitterness, kale has a glycemic index close to 0. It doesn't spike blood sugar, and its fiber slows down digestion, keeping insulin stable. That's especially useful for older adults with metabolic syndrome or prediabetes. In fact, a small 2021 trial from Tokyo Medical University found that participants who consumed a high kale salad before a carb-heavy meal had 20% lower post-meal glucose spikes compared to those who ate no greens. Food number 3, sitting right there on your shelf, purple yam. If you're over 60 and struggling with blood sugar, joint pain, or sluggish digestion, yams might be the natural remedy your doctor never told you about. I've practiced medicine for nearly 4 decades, and while I respect what modern medicine offers, sometimes the best answers are found on your plate, not in a pill bottle. Yams are one of the most underappreciated foods for older adults, and today I want to tell you why they belong in your kitchen. Bloating, constipation, that heavy feeling after meals. Most folks chalk it up to age, but it doesn't have to be that way. Yams are rich in soluble fiber, which helps move waste through the intestines while feeding healthy gut bacteria. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism, 2016, found that older adults who consumed yams daily experienced 30% improvement in bowel regularity, 26% decrease in bloating and discomfort, significant increase in bifidobacteria, a friendly gut microbe that declines with age. Blood sugar is tricky. You may feel fine until one day your doctor says you're pre-diabetic. Yams have a glycemic index of 54, which is much lower than white potatoes, GI 8590. That means they break down slowly and help avoid sudden sugar spikes after meals. But it goes deeper than just the carbs. Yams contain a rare plant compound called diosgenin, which helps the body use insulin more efficiently. In a double-blind trial published in Diabetes Research and Clinical Practice, 2017, 148 older adults who took yam extract for 8 weeks showed 21% reduction in fasting blood glucose, 15% improvement in insulin sensitivity, lower A1C levels by an average of 0.5 points. Let's talk inflammation, the invisible fire that fuels arthritis, fatigue, and even dementia. Diosgenin, the superstar in yams, is a plant steroid known to reduce inflammatory signaling pathways. According to a 2021 study in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences, yam extract decreased levels of interleukin-6, IL-6, by 41%, tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNF-alpha, by 38%, C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker of inflammation in older adults. This isn't theoretical. My patient Denise, 70, from Idaho, had morning joint stiffness so bad she could barely make a fist. We didn't start with NSAIDs, we started with baked yams, 3 times a week. After 6 weeks, she reported less swelling and was walking without a limp. No side effects, just results. Yams are unique among root vegetables because they contain natural phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that can mimic mild estrogen effects in the body. A clinical review published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2011, showed that women over 60 who consumed phytoestrogen-rich foods had fewer menopausal symptoms, hot flashes, night sweats, improved bone mineral density, lower incidence of mood swings and sleep disruption. In Japan, where yams are a cultural staple, older women have 40% fewer osteoporosis-related fractures compared to U.S. women, a fact highlighted by the World Health Organization. So if you're an older woman feeling the effects of hormonal shifts, mood, bone strength, or sleep, yams might be the secret weapon hiding in plain sight. Because of their fiber and anti-inflammatory properties, yams can also play a role in brain health. A 2020 animal model study in the Journal of Food Biochemistry found that diosgenin improved cognitive performance and reduced brain oxidative stress in aged rats with effects comparable to low-dose antidepressants. While it's early research, we already know that reducing inflammation in the body lowers the risk of dementia and improves mood. So if you're feeling foggy, forgetful, or just not yourself lately, don't overlook your gut, because what feeds your belly feeds your brain. Food number 4, Black beans. Black beans aren't just a side dish, they're a complete nutritional package for older adults. I've seen patients avoid insulin, ease arthritis, and improve energy just by adding them to lunch or dinner a few times a week. So let's break down what the science says. Let's start with what most seniors worry about: blood sugar swings. Black beans have a low glycemic index, GI of 30, much lower than white rice, GI approximately 73, or white bread, GI approximately 75. That means your body breaks them down slowly, giving you a gradual rise in blood sugar rather than a spike. In a 2012 clinical trial published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition, researchers gave 12 healthy adults meals of white rice with or without black beans. The group that ate black beans with rice had 29% lower blood sugar 2 hours after the meal, improved insulin sensitivity, less hunger throughout the day. Even better, a study in Food and Function, 2021, from China observed that overweight seniors who consumed black beans daily for 8 weeks had a 1C reduction of 0.6 points, improved fasting glucose by 18%. 1 cup of cooked black beans contains around 15 grams of total fiber, with about 5-6 grams of soluble fiber, the kind that binds cholesterol, slows digestion, and feeds healthy gut bacteria. According to a 2020 meta-analysis from Harvard School of Public Health, each 7 grams of fiber consumed daily was associated with 9% lower risk of heart disease, 12% reduced risk of type 2 diabetes, 13% lower mortality rate from all causes. That's not just a digestive benefit, it's long-term protection for your whole body. Black beans are rich in anthocyanins, deep purple plant pigments, also found in blueberries, known for their antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. In a study from the British Journal of Nutrition, 2015, older adults who consumed high anthocyanin diets had 38% lower levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, reduced joint stiffness and pain, better vascular function and blood flow. Another review in the Journal of Medicinal Food, 2020, confirmed that black bean extract reduced TNF-alpha and IL-6, 2 inflammatory markers tied to arthritis, dementia, and heart disease. Black beans offer a 1-2 punch for the heart, fiber, and flavonoids. The soluble fiber in black beans binds to cholesterol in the intestines, preventing it from being absorbed into the blood. A study in the Archives of Internal Medicine, 2004, showed that adults who consumed 1/2 cup of legumes, including black beans, daily for 8 weeks had total cholesterol reduction of 8-10%, LDL, bad cholesterol, dropped by 12%, improved endothelial function, blood vessel elasticity, combined with the magnesium and potassium in black beans, which help relax blood vessels and lower blood pressure. The heart health profile is truly impressive. Protein isn't just for bodybuilders, it's critical for older adults to maintain muscle, especially as we age and face sarcopenia, muscle wasting. Black beans provide 15 grams of plant-based protein per cup, along with amino acids like lysine and leucine, which support muscle repair and strength. In a 2021 study in Nutrients, seniors who ate legumes 3-4 times per week had less muscle mass loss over 12 months, better grip strength and walking speed. And because of their high fiber plus protein combo, black beans also keep you full for hours, preventing overeating or late night snacking. Food number 5 is excellent for both seniors and young children. Avocado. Just 1 avocado a day can lower your bad cholesterol, stabilize your blood sugar, shrink stubborn belly fat, and even reduce stroke risk, and there's hard science to prove it. As a physician who's worked with older adults for nearly 40 years, I can tell you avocados aren't just trendy. They're one of the most complete foods nature ever created, especially for seniors. Healthy fats, gut-friendly fiber, electrolytes, antioxidants, and unlike most fruits, they don't spike your blood sugar. Most of my senior patients are afraid of fat, and for good reason. For years, we were told fat clogs arteries, but not all fat is the same. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats, particularly oleic acid, the same heart-healthy fat found in olive oil. These fats lower LDL, bad cholesterol, help raise HDL, good cholesterol, and protect blood vessels. In a clinical trial published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, 2015, participants who ate one avocado per day in place of saturated fats saw 11% reduction in LDL, 13% reduction in oxidized LDL, the dangerous form that causes plaque, improved endothelial function, how well your arteries expand and contract. For seniors, this means better circulation, lower blood pressure, and lower risk of stroke. For older adults with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, blood sugar control is everything. And avocados help not because they're sweet, but because they're not. Avocados have almost zero sugar and a glycemic index close to zero. But more importantly, their healthy fats slow down digestion, preventing post-meal glucose spikes. A 2020 meta-analysis in Nutrients reviewed 10 clinical studies and found that avocado consumption improved insulin sensitivity by up to 19%, reduced fasting glucose by 710 milligram, DL, helped lower HbA1c levels over time. Even adding half an avocado to one meal per day made a measurable difference. Here's something few people talk about. Not all fat on your body is the same. The most dangerous kind is visceral fat, the deep belly fat that surrounds your organs and raises the risk for heart disease, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. A randomized controlled trial in the Journal of Nutrition, 2021, studied 105 overweight adults, aged 25-70, who added one avocado per day to their diet for 12 weeks. The results? Reduction in visceral fat in women by 11%, improved fat distribution, less stored around the waist, no gain in overall weight thanks to increased satiety. For older adults, that means less inflammation, better blood flow, and protection against insulin resistance. And yes, avocados help you feel full. Each medium avocado contains around 10 grams of fiber, including insoluble fiber that aids digestion and soluble fiber that promotes fullness. It's the perfect combo to reduce overeating and snacking between meals. You probably think bananas are king when it comes to potassium, but avocados actually beat them. A medium avocado has about 700 milligrams of potassium, which helps lower blood pressure naturally, reduce risk of stroke by up to 24% per Candela C data, regulate heartbeat and nerve function. Plus, avocados contain lutein, a carotenoid known for supporting both eye and brain health. A 2017 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience showed that seniors who consumed more lutein-rich foods had better memory scores, slower age-related cognitive decline. Food number 6 is something you'll often find in your fridge: strawberries. Most seniors think diabetes is all about sugar, but the real problem is insulin resistance when your cells stop listening to insulin, so glucose stays in your blood instead of being used for energy. Strawberries contain high levels of anthocyanins, the red pigments also found in cherries and blueberries. These compounds improve how your cells respond to insulin. In a 2016 randomized controlled trial published in the British Journal of Nutrition, researchers gave adults with metabolic syndrome a daily strawberry beverage, equivalent to about 1 cup of berries. After 6 weeks, they saw 14% increase in insulin sensitivity, significant drop in fasting, blood glucose, lower levels of inflammatory markers like CRP. That's not a fluke. A 2020 meta-analysis in Food and Function reviewed 11 studies and confirmed that regular strawberry consumption helped improve blood sugar control and reduce post-meal glucose spikes, especially in adults over 50. As you age, your blood vessels naturally stiffen, a process called endothelial dysfunction, and that increases your risk for high blood pressure, stroke, and heart attack. Strawberries protect your arteries in 2 powerful ways. Their vitamin C neutralizes free radicals that damage vessel walls. Their anthocyanins reduce inflammation and LDL oxidation, which leads to plaque. A 2020 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition gave older adults a strawberry-rich drink, equivalent to 2 cups daily, for 8 weeks. The results? Reduction in oxidized LDL by 11%, improve arterial stiffness by 6%, lower systolic blood pressure by an average of 4 millimeter Hg. That kind of improvement could mean the difference between a mild episode and a life-threatening stroke. You've probably heard of brain foods, but strawberries are backed by long-term research, not just trends. In the Harvard Nurses Health Study, which followed over 16,000 women aged 70 plus for more than 20 years, researchers found that those who ate strawberries at least twice a week experienced up to 2.5 years slower cognitive decline, better memory and processing speed, lower risk of developing Alzheimer's-related symptoms. This protective effect is believed to come from anthocyanins and ellagic acid, which reduce oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain. Strawberries also contain vitamin C, essential for producing neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, both of which decline as we age. Each cup of strawberries contains about 3 grams of fiber, a mix of soluble and insoluble types. This helps regulate digestion, reduce constipation, and slow sugar absorption. In a 2021 study in the Journal of Medicinal Food, researchers found that strawberry fiber supported the growth of bifidobacteria, a beneficial gut microbe that helps maintain immune balance and reduce inflammation. For older adults struggling with irregularity or gut discomfort, strawberries offer a low-acid, low-glycemic, fiber-rich option that's easy to digest. Aging is, at its core, the result of oxidative stress, and strawberries happen to be one of the top antioxidant fruits, ranking number 3 after blackberries and blueberries, according to the USDA Oxygen Radical Absorbance Capacity (ORAC) database. Strawberries are rich in vitamin C, boosts immune function and skin repair. Anthocyanins, reduce inflammation in blood and brain. Ellagic acid supports liver detox and protects against cellular damage. Together, these compounds help reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, macular degeneration, and even some forms of cancer. Food number 7, broccoli. The most powerful compound in broccoli is sulforaphane, found in highest amounts when the vegetable is lightly steamed or raw. In a landmark study published in Cancer Prevention Research, 2014, researchers at Johns Hopkins had participants drink a broccoli sprout beverage daily. Results? 61% more benzene excreted, a carcinogen from air pollution, 23% more acrolein flushed, a chemical from cigarette smoke and fried food, significant increase in phase 2 liver enzymes that neutralize toxins. Why does this matter to seniors? Because as we age, our liver's natural detoxability slows and exposure to air pollution, medications, and processed food builds up over decades. Patient example: Edna, 73, a former hairdresser, struggled with fatigue and brain fog. We added broccoli sprouts to her morning smoothie for 6 weeks. She said she felt clearer and more awake, and her liver enzymes, ALT, improved on follow-up blood work. Broccoli reduces inflammation at the cellular level. That's huge because chronic inflammation contributes to arthritis, Alzheimer's, heart disease, and even depression. In a 2018 clinical trial published in Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed 1 cup of broccoli daily for 12 weeks experienced 21% reduction in C-reactive protein, CRP, improved mobility scores, decreased morning joint stiffness. Another study in the Journal of Functional Foods, 2020, confirmed that sulforaphane from broccoli downregulates NF-κB and IL-6, 2 key inflammatory messengers in aging cells. Few people realize that sulforaphane crosses the blood-brain barrier and directly protects neurons. A 2021 study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that high dietary intake of cruciferous vegetables, especially broccoli and Brussels sprouts, was associated with better executive function and verbal fluency, lower amyloid plaque accumulation on PET scans, slower brain volume loss over 3 years. Broccoli is also rich in vitamin C, which preserves dopamine and serotonin, and vitamin K, which is crucial for forming sphingolipids fats that protect brain cells. Another data point, a review published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, 2017, found that seniors with the highest vitamin K intake had 38% slower cognitive decline, better memory and attention scores over time. Let's not forget, lutein and zeaxanthin in broccoli protect the retina, lowering the risk of age-related macular degeneration by up to 26% per Ophthalmology Journal, 2019. Its soluble fiber feeds healthy gut bacteria, supporting digestion and reducing constipation. Sulforaphane increases activity of natural killer NK cells, strengthening immune response in seniors. One Japanese study in nutrition and metabolism, 2022, found that elderly participants who ate broccoli daily had 30% fewer sick days over a 6-month winter season. Food number 8 is a very familiar drink to all of us, orange juice. One medium orange may do more for your arteries than a handful of pills, and that's not a theory. That's based on real science from Harvard, the NIH, and international clinical trials. When we talk about oranges, the conversation often starts and ends with vitamin C. But if you're over 60, what really matters is hesperidin, a powerful flavonoid found in the pith, the white threads, and the juicy vesicles. According to a clinical study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2011, seniors who consumed 292 milligrams of hesperidin daily, equivalent to 2 oranges, saw a 19.2% reduction in arterial stiffness. They also showed improved endothelial-dependent vasodilation, which means the arteries opened wider under blood pressure. Systolic blood pressure dropped by 6.9 mmHg on average. Now, keep in mind, these aren't dramatic drugs. These are daily oranges, eaten whole with the pulp. This is especially vital for seniors, as arterial stiffness is directly linked to stroke risk, heart attack, and cognitive decline. Now, many of my older patients ask, isn't fruit sugar bad for my diabetes? That's a great question, but here's what the science shows. A whole orange has a low glycemic index, GI approximately 40-45, and a glycemic load, GL, of approximately 5-6, which is much lower than bread, rice, or even fruit juice. This is because of the soluble fiber in the fruit, which slows digestion and absorption. A clinical trial from the Journal of the American College of Nutrition, 2020, followed 93 seniors with prediabetes. The group that ate whole oranges with the pulp 5 days per week had lower postprandial glucose, blood sugar after meals, by up to 23%, improved insulin sensitivity by 18%, measured by HOMA-IR index, a reduction in fasting glucose from 105 mg DL to 96 mg DL after 8 weeks. This proves that oranges, eaten right, are friends, not enemies, of blood sugar. Poor circulation in the brain is a key driver of age-related memory loss. Oranges help in 2 ways. They improve microvascular blood flow, bringing oxygen and nutrients to brain cells. They contain vitamin C, which is linked to better cognitive scores. In a long-term study from Rush University Medical Center, 2019, seniors who consumed 1-2 servings of flavonoid-rich citrus fruits per day had a 34% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, better working memory, and verbal fluency over a 7-year period. Less white matter shrinkage on MRI scans. Why does this matter? Because memory loss isn't just about aging. It's often about poor circulation and oxidative stress, both of which oranges help combat. In a 15-year study published in Ophthalmology, 2018, researchers tracked 2,037 Australians aged 65 plus. Those who ate at least 1 orange a day had a 60% lower risk of developing late-stage macular degeneration, improved retinal thickness, and vascular health, measured via OCT. The antioxidant effect of vitamin C, combined with carotenoids and hesperidin, appears to protect against age-related oxidative damage to the retina, especially crucial if you spend a lot of time in sunlight or have a family history of vision loss. A medium orange contains about 3 grams of fiber, most of it soluble, which feeds your gut bacteria and promotes healthy digestion. A study from the University of Connecticut, 2016, found that daily orange pulp intake increased gut bifidobacteria by 38% helpful for seniors dealing with constipation, inflammation, and poor nutrient absorption. Additionally, vitamin C plays a huge role in immunity. In a meta-analysis by the Cochrane Library, regular vitamin C intake, 500 milligrams day or more, reduced the duration of respiratory infections by 814%, and in older adults, it reduced the severity of cold symptoms by 33%. Food number 9, purple grapes. When you hit your 60s or 70s, your memory isn't just about age, it's about blood flow, inflammation, and oxidative stress inside the brain. And that's exactly where resveratrol and anthocyanins in purple grapes come in. In a 2020 study published by the Journal of Gerontology, Medical Sciences, seniors who consumed grape-derived resveratrol daily showed a 26% improvement in memory recall after 12 weeks. That's a big deal, not just for sharpness, but for independence. Take my patient Jerry, 71 years old, from Wisconsin. He started having trouble remembering his granddaughter's birthday or where he parked at the grocery store. We added half a cup of purple grapes to his breakfast each day. After 2 months, his wife said, it's like his mind woke up again. That's the power of daily polyphenols. Now let's talk about the heart. The American Heart Association, AHA, confirms that flavonoids in grapes, especially the dark-skinned ones, improve arterial flexibility and lower LDL cholesterol by up to 12%. And in a 2019 randomized trial from Boston University, participants aged 65 plus who drank purple grape juice daily had better blood pressure control, with systolic BP dropping by 7.9 mmHg. That's not magic. That's nutrition science. Now, oxidative stress, this one's sneaky. You don't feel it, but it's aging your cells every single day. Purple grapes are packed with anthocyanins that fight back. In fact, researchers at Tufts University showed that seniors who ate purple fruits regularly had higher antioxidant capacity in the bloodstream and lower markers of inflammation like CRP. Here's what I tell my patients. If your legs feel heavy, your mind foggy, or your memory slower, don't just reach for more coffee or pills. Try a handful of grapes instead. Eat them with the skins. That's where the magic is. It's easy to think that getting older means feeling slower, stiffer, or foggier. But the truth is, every bite you take can either feed disease or fight it. Garlic, kale, yams, black beans, avocados, strawberries, broccoli, oranges, and purple grapes. These aren't superfoods from a lab. They're everyday ingredients, found at your local grocery store, quietly holding the power to protect your heart, lower your blood sugar, clear your circulation, and even sharpen your memory. If you start adding just one of these to your plate each day, your body will notice, your energy will change, and your future might just look a whole lot brighter. So let me ask you, which of these foods will you try this week? Have you already felt a difference from one of them? Drop a comment, I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Elderly Health Tips, because your best years don't have to be behind you. They can start right now.